for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, telling me they love me and, just turn their back on you. I just want to protect her, I don't want her to go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody.
Justin Bieber is stepping back into the spotlight in a way no one expected, bringing renewed attention to years of speculation, unanswered questions, and growing curiosity about what he may have experienced during the early stages of his rise to fame, as he now describes parts of the entertainment world as deeply predatory, claiming that young artists were exposed to environments, influences, and material they were far too young to fully understand, while also raising serious concerns about unsettling experiences involving powerful figures like Diddy and Ellen DeGeneres during that time, reigniting long-standing public questions about what was happening behind closed doors and whether warning signs were ignored, and by speaking out, Justin is reportedly shedding light on issues many people have wondered about for years, including broader industry connections and allegations surrounding elite social circles, which has only intensified discussions about accountability, protection for young stars, and who may have known more than they admitted, leaving many people now asking why stronger safeguards weren't in place when he was first navigating fame, and whether the truth about those years is only just beginning to surface.
Rather have to be naked on stage. Answer Justin Bieber.
I had like little girl fans. I can't.
Imagine it wasn't like weird like that. Justin Bieber.
At just 13 years old, Justin Bieber was a talented young Canadian whose clean-cut image, viral YouTube fame, and remarkable voice quickly captured the attention of millions, turning him from a small-town teenager into one of music's most talked-about rising stars almost overnight. And as his popularity grew, major industry veterans began taking notice, including Usher, who famously stepped in as a mentor and appeared to offer guidance, opportunity, and protection as Justin entered the overwhelming world of global fame. But while this relationship was widely presented as a dream come true for a gifted young artist, questions have continued to surface about the kind of environment Bieber was actually introduced to behind the scenes, especially as his path crossed with powerful Hollywood figures like Ellen DeGeneres and Sean Diddy Combs. Connections that may have initially looked like strategic networking designed to elevate his career, but have since sparked deeper public curiosity about whether everything was as supportive as it seemed, because according to some industry observers, the spaces Bieber was navigating at such a young age may have exposed him to dynamics far more intense, unusual, and potentially harmful than what most people would consider appropriate mentorship for a 13-year-old, raising ongoing concerns about whether the system around him was truly focused on protecting a child star or simply shaping a phenomenon at any cost.
Justin Timberlake and Usher are fighting over getting you, and you ended up going with Usher.
Yes.
And what did Usher have to say as far as advice for you?
Definitely just to stay humble. I mean, that's probably the most important thing. If I just stay humble and stay on the right path, anything's possible.
Exactly, because you have the talent, you have the charisma, you're just as cute as you can possibly. You couldn't be cuter.
Thank you.
I mean, you may be peaking right now. Be careful.
As Justin Bieber's fame accelerated, even more attention was drawn to stories about his early experiences around powerful industry figures, including past comments about spending significant time in Diddy's orbit and references to experiences that many people have since re-examined with greater concern, particularly because they appear to place a very young teenager in spaces filled with adult themes, behavior, and pressures far beyond what someone his age may have fully understood or been emotionally prepared to process. And over time, some viewers and commentators have looked back at older interviews and public appearances, pointing to his quick smiles, careful wording, and sometimes uneasy reactions as possible signs of a young person trying to navigate an intense and confusing world while under enormous public scrutiny, which has fueled broader conversations about how child stars are often expected to adapt to environments that may be overwhelming long before they are truly equipped to handle them, raising deeper questions about protection, boundaries, and whether the systems around young entertainers always prioritize their well-being.
Where we hanging out and what we doing, we can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. When he signed to Usher, I had legal guardianship of Usher when he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
As Justin Bieber's early rise to fame continues to be re-examined, public attention has often returned to highly discussed moments involving powerful figures around him, including widely circulated comments and appearances that placed him in adult celebrity spaces while he was still very young, which has naturally led many people to question whether those environments were appropriate for a teenager navigating sudden superstardom, especially when vague or sensationalized remarks from older industry figures have been interpreted in different ways over the years, but it's important to separate speculation from verified fact, since many online narratives can quickly escalate by connecting unrelated controversies or broader conspiracies without clear evidence, and while conversations about secrecy, exclusive celebrity culture, private events, and the protection of young performers are valid topics that continue to concern the public, drawing direct conclusions without substantiated proof can blur the line between legitimate scrutiny and rumor, which is why the larger issue remains focused on how vulnerable young stars are introduced to fame, power structures, and adult-controlled spaces long before they may fully understand them, raising ongoing questions about oversight, boundaries, and whether enough was done to protect someone who was still, at the time, just a teenager.
Man, you good?
I'm good. How are you?
Alright, young brother, everything's good?
Everything's
Selling
great.
out arenas and everything? Starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But you never really got my number, so.
Right,
My
okay.
number?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you my number.
Yeah.
If I say this, lean into me again. You smell amazing. How old are you?
Thank you.
How old are you?
I'm 16. I'll be 17 in like 2 weeks.
I don't ever remember smelling that good at 16. That was bad. Wow.
For years, many people have closely examined Justin Bieber's early interactions with major entertainment figures like Ellen and Diddy, along with the broader culture surrounding how young stars were treated in high-profile spaces, and those conversations have often centered on moments from interviews, public appearances, and industry events that some viewers now see differently with time, especially when looking back at situations where celebrity culture sometimes appeared to blur personal boundaries in ways that may have felt uncomfortable or overly invasive for someone so young, while public attitudes have also evolved significantly regarding what is considered appropriate behavior toward child and teenage performers, leading more people to question whether certain jokes, physical interactions, or media moments that were once normalized should have been challenged more seriously. And although interpretations can vary depending on context, the larger discussion continues to focus on how fame, power, and entertainment culture may have exposed Justin to pressures and treatment that many believe no young artist should have had to manage alone.
Okay, do we have time for my thing? Okay, all right. Do you know Would You Rather game? Would you rather? You know that game?
Yeah, I know that game.
Okay, so here's my question. Would you rather have to be naked on stage during one full song, or drink a cup of blended worms?
Many critics and viewers have looked back at various public moments from Justin Bieber's early career and argued that repeated exposure to boundary-pushing behavior from influential adults may have contributed to a larger entertainment culture where uncomfortable interactions were sometimes brushed off as normal, especially for young stars expected to stay polite and composed under constant public scrutiny. And because of that, certain interviews, comedy segments, or celebrity encounters have since been re-examined more critically, with some people pointing to Justin's body language, facial expressions, or visible discomfort in specific moments as signs that he may not always have felt fully at ease, even if he didn't openly say so at the time, though it's also important to avoid overstating intent based solely on interpretation, since edited clips and public appearances can be read in many different ways. But what these discussions have clearly highlighted is a growing awareness that young performers often face intense pressure to tolerate situations that might feel awkward or invasive simply because powerful adults, cameras, and industry expectations are involved, which is why so many people now emphasize the importance of clearer boundaries, consent, and protection for young artists in entertainment.